What is going on, trainers? DrumVillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go Battle League PvP content, and today we're talking about the Great League remix and a fantastic run I had last night when the cup first dropped, and this was a 10-0 run using this team. I was originally just hoping to make it a Carbink, an anti-Carbink team, specifically like everything on this team beats Carbink. So if you run into it, you're not going to have any struggles with it. And I thought that'd be interesting enough, but then the team itself actually works really well, and I've gone, like I said, gone a 10-0 run with the team, so I thought I'd share it with you guys, get it out straight away so you guys can see it, give it a try for yourself if you wanna, or at least you can get an idea how some of these Pokemon play so you can learn how to play with them, play around them if you're not going to be using them, and stuff like that to help prepare you for this next week of Great League Remix if you're planning on playing this cup instead of the Open Great League, which is obviously alongside. Now, you can use this team in the Open Great League or the Remix if you want, but I would personally recommend using it in the Remix Cup, just because the backline on this team can struggle if you're coming up against some of the bulkier steel types like Registeel, like Galarian Stunfisk. It can kind of give you a bit more hassle than it's worth, and I would recommend some different Pokemon on this team for that case. So the rough idea building this team was, can I make a balanced team where every Pokemon on the team beats Carbink? Carbink being the newest meta release for the Great League in general. It is rated as the highest, strongest Pokemon for Great League in general, as well as the Great League Remix, because the Remix ban list is based on usage, and because it hasn't been available before, that means it's not banned yet, despite it being by far the strongest Pokemon in this meta. Now, the biggest threats overall to Carbink are ground types, especially in Mud Boys, picks like Whiscash, Swampert. Now, Swampert's banned in this meta, Galarian Stunfisk is banned in this meta, so we decided to opt for Quagsire, which recently got buff to Mud Bomb. This season it does even more damage than before, it's incredibly spammy, and we're bringing Shadow Quagsire specifically to eat up that ante and that pressure even more. Quagsire has amazing coverage in this meta, having access to Stone Edge as well, so it can threaten the flyers. If you don't have a Shadow Quagsire for the Great League, regular Quagsire is going to work fine. It'll even give you a little bit more bulk, which might pay off in some situations and matchups as well. Because we're running the Shadow, and the Shadow it's not squishy, but it's not that bulky either. It can take a moderate hit, but hard hits are really going to put it in the risk of being farmed down by a lot of Pokemon. So we're going to put some bulk in the back on this team, and we're bringing that in the form of Cresselia, which does beat Carbink thanks to the Grass Knot super effective charge move, and then we're bringing Toxapex as well in the back. So we can pretty much handle anything in this meta. One Pokemon that I will say does give this team a little bit of stress is Alolan Sandslash, and there are quite a few of them out there. It is quite a strong Pokemon. Between the team, you can take them down. I've won games against Alolan Sandslash with this team. As I've said, this is a 10-0 run with this team. Now, Quagsire does very well against it in general. The Mud Shot, Mud Bomb combo is going to absolutely ruin it, but Cresselia and Toxapex don't really like dealing with that thing. So if you've seen a lot of them in the back, this might not be the team for you. Just bear that in mind. This team also works out in more than one way, because one of the most common matchups that Quagsire loses in this meta is against Scrafty and Dubwool, the fighters. They're going to be doing very good, consistent damage in general in this meta. Scrafty only having to worry about fairies. Dubwool just being very versatile overall. And both Cresselia and Toxapex can deal with the fighters as well, thanks to their typings. So overall, the team's pretty balanced. Depending on what kind of lead you run into, you've got an option to swap out, pivot in the game, and try and regain control. So if you guys are liking the sound of this team, or you're running any of these Pokemon yourself, they are very strong. Hit the subscribe button, and if there's any Pokemon you want me to specifically build counter teams around, perhaps Alolan Sandslash, I don't know, then let me know down below, and I'll think about making a team, or trying to build a team, that can specifically counter one Pokemon that's causing you serious trouble in this meta, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. So, let's talk matchups, guys. First of all, we've got a Vigoroth lead. Now, as we said, Quagsire struggles with these fighters, pseudo-fighters, and Vigoroth is no exception to this rule. Both Cresselia and Toxapex are both going to have better play against it in the back, so we're going to swap out to Cresselia, see what we can bait out of the back. Vigoroth goes ahead and throws a Body Slam before swapping out into Pidgeot. So, not a bad position for us to be in, not brilliant either. Pidgeot's a bit of a bag of tricks to deal with, depending whether they go for the debuff. But when they swap in aggressively, you can generally not shield the first charge move, because they don't want to swap in, lock themselves in, and then immediately debuff their defense by 2 stages throwing the Brave Bird. So you can generally let the first charge move go. I got a feeling that they might go for Feather Dance, Brave Bird, Feather Dance, Brave Bird, so I showed up the second move, got baited with another Feather Dance, which is absolutely terrible. So we're going to swap back to Quagsire, shield up what is no doubt a Brave Bird because their switch timer's up. Vigoroth comes back in. Okay, but we've got a ton of energy now to dump into this thing. The Vigoroth's energy dry, it threw its energy into Cresselia, so we can get 2 Mud Bombs off before they get a Body Slam off. This isn't going to KO them, but it is going to get them pretty low. So, we haven't got shields. This is fine, this won't KO us. It'll get us pretty low, it hits pretty hard, and we're going to try and Mud Shot down. We just get it, and we've got a Stone Edge loaded. If Pidgeot comes in, we're throwing the Stone Edge straight away. It does. Are they expecting a Mud Bomb? Are they expecting a blind Mud Bomb? Do they know I've got the energy for Stone Edge? Boom, they don't. Pidgeot's out of there. So they've got a shield advantage and just a Toga Tick with the new move Fairy Wind to deal with us. And they're not going to be able to do that because we've got the poison masterpiece that is Toxapex in the back that is going to absolutely shred them to pieces. There's nothing they can do here unless they boost with the Ancient Power maybe like 3 times over. I don't know, but it's not going to be enough. We're just going to be able to farm them, well, fast move them down here with the poison jab. Toxapex is one of those Pokemon that I think people sleep on in general for the Great League. I think people get a bit scared of lining it up with Registeel or Galarian Stunfisk, which are bad matchups for it, for sure. But also, it's very, very strong in pretty much every other matchup, so it's definitely worth considering in general. Next lead, Gengar. A bit spicy, but very, very good for us because Gengar cannot take a Mud Bomb, especially not from Shadow Quagsire. This will be a slightly better matchup with a regular Quagsire because the Mud Bomb's still going to annihilate them, but you can take a Shadow Punch a little bit better. They swap out into Lickitung. We soften them up a little bit with a Mud Bomb, build up a bit more energy, and then swap out to Toxapex. Toxapex does well in this matchup. It's very neutral between Lickitung and Toxapex. So if one swaps in, the way I recommend you play with this team is throw a Mud Bomb, then swap in Toxapex. You'll do enough damage with the Mud Bomb to really swing this matchup in your favour, and if you get a shield out of them for that Mud Bomb, even better because it's only 5 Mud Shots worth of energy. It's super fast, definitely worth getting a shield out of somebody with it if you can. They're going to come in with the Gengar once we deal with Lickitung. They feel pressured to throw straight away because they know we're close to another charge move. It's not going to take us out. We got that Mad Bulk on Toxapex, so we're able to get a shield out of them with the Brine, and then we've got another Mud Bomb loaded on Quagsire thanks to the excess energy that we loaded before swapping out. We're able to get the second shield out of them, and we're going to shield up and we're going to go straight for another Mud Bomb depending on what the opponent wants to do. They swap out pretty quick into Vigoroth. We're going to build up excess energy, but we didn't throw it, and the reason we didn't throw it is we don't want the switch timers to get too far out of sync because we don't want them to swap back in with Gengar and snipe down Cresselia and then have excess energy or something like that to deal with our Quagsire. So we're just bringing in Cresselia. We're not going to shield Cresselia at all. We know the Vigoroth's got a decent amount of energy here to keep spamming these Body Slams. We don't care. We're just going to take them all day. We've got 2 Mud Bombs loaded on Quagsire now, and we've got a shield to make sure we can get them off. So we can just set the shield for Quagsire, get the 2 Mud Bombs off, and just win the game like that. We're going to swap aggressively into the Quagsire and throw the Mud Bomb straight away just to prevent them getting any excess energy against the Cresselia. We didn't want to get them to somehow get to 2 Shadow Punches and maybe force them through somehow. Sometimes Go Battle League messes up, you know, and you don't want to give it the chance to screw you over. Okay, Escavalier lead. A bit of a spicy one again, and not the best for this team because the Drillrun's going to threaten Toxapex. They're going to be resisting the poison jabs. They're resisting moves from Cresselia. They've got access to Mega Horn, take Cresselia like a truck. So really you want to stay in with Quagsire. We got to shut up those drill runs though. They're going to hit us like a truck. We're very thankful they're not baiting us with Acid Spray or anything like that right now. We're going to get to move faster than they are though. So if we get a shield here, we're not feeling too stressed, but they decide to let it go. And they're going to bring in Empoleon to try and farm us down and get ahead on energy with 2 shields, which is a little threatening, but we're going to get to these moves on Quagsire very fast. And this is going to wreck. This is going to ruin Empoleon's day if they let it through. Are they going to? No, we get both shields. And we've got switch advantage. Cresselia does fine in this matchup. We can take Hydro Cannons pretty comfortably. Not as well as Cresselia can take Hydro Cannons from Empoleon in the Ultra League, but you can still take them reasonably well. And in the back, they've got their own Toxapex. So we're in a very strong position here. We're just going to soften them up a little bit with a Grass Knot or 2, build up to have another one stored to throw against the Empoleon, match with our own Toxapex. And again, we're not feeling stressed about this situation. We're just going to play it out. We're going to build up excess energy, so we're a little bit closer to a Brine if the Empoleon swaps back in, which we are expecting. We're expecting to get this Toxapex pretty low, and then we're expecting Empoleon to swap back in, throw a Drill Peck probably almost instantly, and then we'll just swap to Cresselia, Grass Knot it, and then bring Toxapex back in or finish Empoleon with, finish Toxapex off with Cresselia. Either way, we're not feeling particularly stressed about this situation. You see the Empoleon comes in, throws the move. We throw the Brine to stall out the switch clock, swap to Cresselia, Grass Knot, take them out, completely fine. And we've got so much health left on this Cresselia, we can definitely get to another Grass Knot to finish off their Toxapex. Absolutely no worries whatsoever, and it's going to be a GG. And you are going to find a lot of leads with Quagsire that either Cresselia or Toxapex lose pretty hard to, and those are matchups just worth staying in because it frees them up so much in the back. And if you get a hard counter for Cresselia out of the way, or you get a hard counter for Toxapex out of the way, the amount of work they can put in the back against a lot of teams is phenomenal. And that's going to round out the first 5-0 set we had with this team. I'm not going to share the ELO with you just yet. See if you can guess what kind of ELO range we're at, and you'll see where we finish this 10-0 run at the end of the video. So, Nidoqueen lead, fantastic for Quagsire. You're going to be outpacing them to those mud bombs. You're resisting the poison damage. You're going to hit them like a truck with those mud bombs. So, overall, brilliant matchup. They swap out into Scrafty, and we bring in Cresselia. And you might think, well, Toxapex makes more sense here. You're resisting the counters, and the foul plays aren't as threatening. And yeah, in a sense, but we got a feeling that there's something Toxapex is going to handle better in the back. And this matchup is a lot more even in the Ultra League than it is in the Great League, because Scrafty can survive a Moonblast in the Ultra League very comfortably. It hits very hard, but they can take it. In the Great League, they got no such bulk. They can't take that Moonblast to save their life. So even though we got baited here with a power-up punch, they're still not going to outpace us. We're still going to get to a Moonblast. We even overcharge a little bit because we were conscious about them trying to catch on the Nidoqueen, but they don't. We throw the Moonblast, boom, Scrafty's out of there. Yes, we're in a zero shield scenario now, and this Nidoqueen's going to get an energy lead, so they will get an Earth Power off on our Quagsire. But that's not going to matter because we can take it. It's not a Shadow Nidoqueen on Shadow Quagsire. I think that's the only exception to this where you won't survive it, is if it's Shadow on Shadow, because look how hard this hits. It's pretty... No, you would. You'd survive that if it was a Shadow Nidoqueen, 20% more damage. We'd take that, but it'd be a lot closer. Take that out with the Mud Bomb. What's in the back? It's actually a Mandibuzz, so Cresselia would actually have struggled a little bit more with this matchup just because the Dark-type damage would have added up a lot more, whereas Toxapex is very neutral in this matchup, and since they've not got shields, they can't shield up the Sludge Wave, which is going to add up. Like, they're chipping us down very gradually, but we will get to 2 Sludge Waves first before they take us out, and the second Sludge Wave will KO them. And not only that, we've got a Stone Edge loaded on Quagsire as well. We're a little conscious about them getting a move off before us, so we actually swapped to catch on Toxapex. It wasn't necessary because I believe Quagsire wins CMP tie. I wasn't feeling like gambling. I was like, we'll store the energy. We'll just get in here with Toxapex and see what happens. And you see we take them out with a comfortable chunk of HP left as well. Okay, now you might be wondering where the hell are all these Alolan Sandslash, and here's one. Shadow Alolan Sandslash on the lead. This is where you want to see it because Quagsire wins against this thing. Cresselia and Toxapex lose. They're going to say swap Shadow Machamp, and again you might be thinking Cresselia is a safer bet here, but no, we're opting for Toxapex because we want to have play against that Sandslash when it comes back in, and we're not going to get farmed down as easily. They have to throw energy at us, they have to throw the drill runs to take us out, whereas against Cresselia, they could fast move us down entirely and have a ton of energy to dump into Quagsire, which flips that matchup in Sandslash's favour. So we're bringing Toxapex because you see they're going to struggle to fast move us down. They're going to have to throw here to avoid us getting to another brine and getting them even lower, which isn't too bad. They've still got excess energy, but not as much as they would have coming out of the Cresselia matchup. We can take one move even if it's Drill Run. Hits us pretty hard, but that's fine. They swap out into Lurantis, and we're still 2 shields across the board here. That's completely fine. We've got Mud Bomb stored on Quagsire, which is going to be a little scary, because if this Sandslash gets the opportunity to get farm on our Cresselia, it's going to be very, very threatening. But we're just going to take one Leaf Blade, shield up the next, preserve a little bit of health on Cresselia, because we don't want to get too low and be in obvious farm down range. We want to stall this matchup out a little bit longer. We see we get a shield out of them with the Moonblast. We're going to go ahead and throw another. They're going to shield. They do. Okay, they're committing the shields on Lurantis, which we don't mind, because guess what? Lurantis does not like a Shadow Stone Edge from Quagsire. Yes, it's a grass type. Yes, it's bulky. But you know what? It's going to absolutely ruin Lurantis' day. So we're going to shut up this move. We're going to build up extra energy because we don't want them catching energy on the wrong Pokemon, which they would have done there if we'd have thrown straight away on the Sandslash. We're going to throw a Mud Bomb, take them out, race to the Stone Edge. We're just going to get there, and this is going to take them out and give us the win. So a bit of a close game because Sandslash is difficult to deal with, as I've said, and even them getting excess energy on the Toxapex, we had to play it right to minimize the damage that was going to cause. Okay, Toxapex lead, absolutely fantastic for Quagsire because the Mud Shot, Mud Bomb combo is going to be decimating them, and you're outpacing them, and you're resisting the poison damage. Very strong matchup overall for Quagsire. They swap into Dubwool, and we opt for the same strategy, throw a Mud Bomb and swap out. But Dubwool gets to these moves fast. Double Kick is a very fast energy generating move, so we are going to CMP tie. They're going to move off on us, which we're going to let go through. Then we're going to bring in our own Toxapex and just start putting some work in here. We weren't expecting Wild Charge from this thing, I'm not going to lie. We were definitely expecting the Payback or Body Slam. So we're going to let the next move go. If it's Wild Charge, they will be able to take us out. It won't quite KO, but then they will probably fast move us down, even though they're very, very low. We're very close. You see they survive with that 1 HP. We're going to bring Quagsire back in, get a bit more energy. We've got shield advantage. What's in the back? It's Scrafty. Okay, got a good feeling here. Maybe we get a shield out of this Scrafty with the Mud Bomb. Maybe it's feeling threatened. It's not. That's okay. This is just a power-up punch. We're going to let it go. Save the shields for Cresselia. Even with that small amount of health, Quagsire should be able to make it to a Mud Bomb against the Toxapex if it has to towards the end of the game. Bringing Cresselia, this could be a foul play. It's not. It's a power-up punch bait. That's a little bit scary. But we still got another shield to hang on to here. Anyway, throw the Grass Knot bait. We do get the shield. That's fantastic. Right. We're all shields down. We're not going to... Well, not all shields down. We've still got one. Their shield's down. Whatever they throw at Cresselia, we're going to let go, right? And then we have a plan. Switch timers are out of sync, right? Toxapex is going to throw Sludge Wave at Cresselia. When the Sludge Wave is thrown on Toxapex, it's at least 4 fast moves or 5 fast moves away from getting to a Brine. So the second they throw a Sludge Wave at Cresselia, when the switch timer's up, we swap immediately to Quagsire, and we should get to a Mud Bomb before they get to a move on us and just snipe them down, and then Cresselia can handle Scrafty with a Moonblast. Let's see if it pays off. So we're throwing the fast moves, just building up energy. We're not throwing a charge move here. This is going to be a Sludge Wave, right? Hopefully it's a Sludge Wave at least anyway. It is. Sludge Wave. Swap to Quagsire. Quick. Race to the Mud Bomb. We're going to get it off. And this is going to do massive damage to Toxapex and do everything we need it to do in this game. Look at it now. Look at the damage and how low Toxapex is. It's within Psycho Cut farm down range, probably for Cresselia, but maybe we don't want to gamble because we're low. Throw the Grass Knot. Finish them off. Then throw the Moonblast at the Scrafty, finish them off, and it's going to be a GG. A little bit close, but GG's all the same. Honestly, I was really proud of myself with that play, and I really wanted to share it with you guys, so really happy to have it in this 10-0 run. Okay, Toxicroak lead. Once again, fantastic lead for Quagsire. There's so many leads weak to Quagsire currently in the Great League remakes, because again, you're going to outpace them to that Mud Bomb. It's going to hit them like a truck. They swap out into Tapu Fini. And you might think, well, Toxapex makes the obvious sense because it's poison, the fast move pressure. We're going to bring in Cresselia because we want to take them out with a Grass Knot pretty easily. And then Toxicroak, if it comes back in, is going to be double weak to our fast moves. So it's going to be under a lot more pressure to throw a charge move faster if it does come back in to take us out sooner. Whereas against Toxapex, it's going to have a bit better opportunity to build up excess energy to maybe threaten our Quagsire and kind of flip matchups back in their favour. So we take them out with the Grass Knot after getting a shield out of them, which is a little surprising. Toxicroak comes in. We're going to go for the Moonblast. It's going to hit hard if they don't shield it. It's definitely not a Grass Knot. Boom. Doesn't quite one-shot them, but gets them very, very low. And they're interested in farm down range at this point. They go so a Sludge Bomb. It's going to take us out, whatever. Quagsire comes in, and there's the Mandibles in the back. And we've just seen, well, this is a different matchup because this is running Air Slash instead of Snarl as a fast move. But it pretty much has the same end result. Like, they're going to struggle to take us out. They shield up a Sludge Wave. They're not looking too bad, but also we've got a shield to save for Quagsire to make sure we get to a Stone Edge as well to finish them off if we're really feeling that way inclined. We're not going to shield this up, I don't think. No, it's just foul players. These aren't really worth the shields. It's completely fine. Fast move still coming through. We go for the Brine because the Toxicroak's so low. This would take them out if it was Sludge Wave. We get the shield. That's nice, puts a little bit more pressure on them. In fact, even then, if it was just the Brine landed, we'd have fast moved them down after anyway. So there's no need to land 2 Sludge Waves. We take them out. Going to take the win. GG. Okay, last matchup. What lead are we going to get? Let me tell you now, this is a spicy matchup. Shadow Psyduck on the lead. So shout out to this trainer for bringing this team because honestly, this whole thing was spicy all the way through and I had a ton of fun in this game. Now, I am not familiar with Shadow Psyduck in any capacity. I'm not aware what charge moves it can learn. We build up excess energy, expecting to get a shield if we're threatening like an Earthquake or a Stone Edge. We don't get a shield, but we almost one-shot them. If that had been Stone Edge, we would actually have KO'd the Psyduck. So ballsy call by them to not shield. We're not sure what they're going to throw, so we shield up an Aqua Tail, which I don't think would have taken us out. But also, I don't know, maybe Psyduck would have come out of nowhere with the Headache of Destiny and absolutely ruined me. I don't know. But then they've got Spinder. Now, Spinder's an interesting one that I thought about running myself because it has the debuff move, Icy Wind, and I think Rock Tomb as well, which is quite interesting coverage overall, but I just don't think it's got the stat product to function as well as you'd want it to overall in the grid. I don't think it's got a good enough... Well, it's got Psycho Cut as a fast move, actually, if I remember right, which is, again, pretty awesome. And then here's bloody Galarian Moltres coming in the back. I love this team just for how crazy it is and how it's just what the shit is happening right now. But you know what? We're just going to try and make it work. We're not going to shield. We eat an Ancient Power. That's completely fine. And then they get the boost. Even worse, we got a boosted Galarian Bird in this matchup. We're just going to throw the Sludge Wave, see what happens. We're debuffed on attack. They're buffed on defense. So realistically, we probably should have swapped out at this point to clear that stat drop. But whatever. We're going to let Toxapex go. We're going to bring in Quagsire, bait with a Mud Bomb because we could be a Stone Edge, and I don't think Moltres is all that bulky overall in general. We get the shield, that's fantastic. Race to the Moonblast. Have they got Payback? Have they got Brave Bird? We're going to shield up their boosted. It's the Payback. Okay, that's fine. We're happy to not take that. They catch Moonblast on Spinder. That doesn't matter. We should be able to get to another Moonblast. They will get to a Payback before that, but it shouldn't one-shot. Yes, this is Moltres. Yes, it's attack weighted. And it hits like an absolute truck, but we should just get to the Moonblast before they get to an Ancient Power to finish us off. And we're just going to take the win in this game. Absolute Skinnerous teeth. Fantastic team. Fantastic game. GG's to that trainer. GG's to everyone I battled in this video. But seriously, that one just made my night. It was so much fun and I had no idea what was happening. Absolutely fantastic. And that's going to round out the 10-0 set. So hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. We're going to see the finishing elo right now. I believe it's around 2600 elo. And as always, I will catch you absolute legends next time.